Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to our today's summit. Today is the final day of our summit, and we have a wonderful guest in our midst. My name is Oye Antonia Ezifeka. As you all know, our our guest for today is someone that majority of us are all familiar with. If you're on LinkedIn, he's someone that is so popular on LinkedIn, and I'm sure you all. So he will be taking us on today's topic, that is international scholarship and incentive for enhancing capacity for nation building. So if you are joining us through any of our platforms, be it Facebook, YouTube, you guys should just send a like button so that we'll know that you are present in our midst. So before we start, we'll be sharing our guest citation so that all of us will be familiar with him.
Our speaker for today is a Nigerian based in the United States. He is a career professional and a certified John Maxwell Coach, public speaker, and trainer. For over 12 years, he has been coaching people to live their life to a full potential using all their God-given resources within them. He has an underlying love to impact career-minded, goal-driven, oriented professionals on a daily basis. He has well over hundreds of serious-minded professionals he has been coaching and mentoring over the years, which makes reaching out and impacting future generations his unrelenting primary mission on earth. He completed a bachelor's degree at Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti in 2003 and received a master's of science degree at Sacred Heart University, Fairfield, Connecticut, with several certifications to enhance his career profession as a professional business analyst. Currently resides in Connecticut with his wife, Elsy, and children. Please let's make welcome Wilfred Asuquo.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. So right now, we'll be inviting our guests to take over. So Fred, you have the floor now.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Global Scholarship Summit. Permit me to quickly share the screen, and we should be just good to go. Okay. All right. So, perfect. To my friend and brother from another mother, Dr. Kelechukwu, who considered me worthy to be here, and all the organizers of this event, I want to say a very big thank you. To all other speakers, I say thank you. And to all the attendees, thank you so much for being here and allowing us to add value to you all. I think a lot has been said already that you needed to know about me. Perhaps only the fact that you were not told that I am a village Akwa Ibom boy. Yes, I am a village Akwa Ibom boy. Don't mind the current logo, it's just packaging. So it doesn't change the fact that I am from the village. Today, on this Global Scholarship Summit, I will be speaking on the subject overcoming academic barriers and stereotype, paving the road towards global impact. From all other speakers, I am very certain you all have learned significantly from all of them, just like I did too. Anyways, there is something unique, which I am sure you will find out as we go along during this session. No doubt, there are a few additions I will share to support what my fellow speakers have already said. I like to say that all you will hear from me are true life events. So I will quickly make my presentation so that I can maximize my 45 minutes. Then during the Q&A, I will delve deeper by sharing more experiences to better help expand your awareness. Again, during the Q&A, I will delve deeper by sharing more experiences to better help expand your awareness. Let's get straight into it, people. Scholarship is one many resources and synergy that can pave way to one's global impact. I am a living testimony. But what many do not want to hear or share in the academic pursuit is the barriers and sometimes the stereotype that comes with this journey. Now, speaking of barriers, I was born into a family where to eat was by faith. Getting tuition was a miracle. But you see, I fought a good fight of faith, and today, to eat is now a choice. Attending any college is at my beck and call. Also, barriers and obstacles, perhaps I would say they're all gone. You see, you must understand one thing. Life will never give you what you desire, but what you fight for. The first thing you must win in this fight is in your mind. And second, money. With a great mindset, you can do a lot for yourself, family, and others. I'd like you to hear me well again. With a great mindset, you can do a lot for yourself, family, and others. Someone will say, why is Wilfred saying that? We all have the greatest asset in the world within us. And the greatest asset in the world, I'm sure you would not even think about it, that is inside of you. It's called the mind. And the mind is subdivided into two parts, conscious and subconscious mind. The conscious mind constitutes just 5%. The subconscious mind constitutes 95%. The 5% of your conscious mind is your thinking mind, is your strategizing mind, is your reasoning mind, is your planning mind. But your subconscious is driven by emotions, by feelings, by wandering thoughts. Yes. But the sad news is that you are expected to use 5% to control 95%, which don't make no sense. But I tell you the truth, those who are using the 5% of their conscious mind to control the subconscious mind that is driven by emotions and feelings, those are the ones that are doing a lot for themselves, family, and others. So if you master your conscious mind, I am guaranteeing you that you do a lot for yourself, family, and others. Follow me. We are going somewhere. I was reading through a social media post scripted by Dr. Babajide Milton Macaulay. I'm sure he's going to be surprised. I told him I have a surprise for him today. He titled it, "Luck has very little to do with it." This is how he started, inverted comma open. We are in the 2020 scholarship application season. I'm sure some of you may have read about this article. So let me share this personal experience to lift someone's dampened spirit. He continues. The very first time I heard about scholarship was in my first year of the university, Futa, Nigeria. I had made friends with highly cerebral beeps like Emmanuel Jesuho Dansu and Bello Olumide Fatai of Mathematics and Biochemistry Department, respectively, who were topping their departments right from their first year of year one. Social interaction with those who shared similar desires to be excellent in their endeavors led to the discovery of the total and stroke EPNL, Nigerian Tertiary Institution Scholarship Scheme, inverted comma, close. Now, looking at the opening statement from Dr. Babajide, he was so determined to fight all barriers and stereotypes to attain success by exploring every scholarship available. He also applied social intelligence to network students with like minds. Therefore, one can say that the route to global impact demands strategy and hard work. Let me pause for a minute. Just because it is a scholarship scheme, means summit, I beg your pardon, I would like to share a few tips on how to secure North American scholarship. All right. So, the first thing I want to talk about is those with HND degree like myself. I'm sure most of you don't know I have HND. I graduated from Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti. And I'm privileged to share stages, making global impact, enjoying some of the privileges like, Dr. Kelechukwu, Dr. Milton, Dr. Ahmed. I'm sharing stages with them. But meanwhile, I have HND, right? That's why I'm here to talk to somebody out there who is having first class, who is having 2-2, who is having 2-1 from the university and is having complaints. Press that break for a minute. Think about someone with HND and he is leaving a little impact in his world. Now, if you have HND graduate, if you have HND degree, you can still gain scholarship in North America. Just know that, like myself. A lot have gone through me to secure that. A lot of people are doing it, so you are not exempted. Now, there are 50 states in the United States. Then if you add other North American schools, you are having almost 4,000 schools, 4,000 graduate schools and above to apply to. So if one don't take you, another one would. Now, with GRE or GMAT scores, different percentage of scholarship will be awarded. But you can aim for full scholarship, which comes with stipends, at least 320 and above for GRE. Remember, GRE is for STEM students or graduates and GMAT for business or art graduates. Now, some graduate schools may expect you to have TOEFL, test of English, but you can negotiate for waivers if you can't afford it. For those of you that are my mentees or my client, you know how we do it. Now, very important, for those with HND, please use WES. Transcribe your transcript. Evaluate it, transcribe it to, or evaluate it to the American standard, the North American standard. Okay? The North America don't know what HND is. As soon as you use the evaluation, HND is lost. That's why if you check my status or on LinkedIn, I said I have bachelors because I have bachelors in the US currently. That's what I used to go to grad school. Now, I always tell everyone that scholarship in America, it's all around. I ran a tri-semester program, as in I had 3 semesters in 1 year. And there are some programs, like the first program that I was offered 75% scholarship after I took my GRE, medicinal chemistry. They didn't have masters. They wanted me to run PhD. And me, I don't have anointing for PhD. I just knew I needed something, masters, then build on some other things and then grow. So use WES, please. If you have HND, use WES. To the university graduates, if you have first class, you have all the opportunities at your disposal. Dr. Ahmed spoke yesterday. I didn't hear him say he took GRE. No. I have few mentees currently that have first class. They've gotten admission and full scholarship. No GRE, no TOEFL. Yes, for some of them that are under my tutelage, some of my clients, some of my mentees. Please, if you have first class, oh Lord, let me remind you again, you got first class. Make use of it. Don't dull yourself so much. Drill into graduate school's website and write to your prospective supervisors. You can secure scholarship with or without GRE. It all depends on you. Secondly, to those with 2-1, 2-2, please jump on your GRE and possibly TOEFL to get the needed opportunity you desire. I'm sorry, those of them that have first class, their CGPA sells them out, so they're good. If you don't mind, WES will be a great resource for you to use instead of dealing with transcript from your school all the time. Now, you see this slide? It's a serious slide. Common sense is not common. You guys know I have a monthly webinar show I call Common Sense with Freddie. You need the needed awareness. You got to be intentional, and then alignment. You align these two. You guys know that the choices you make is dependent on the awareness you have. There are a lot of words that has been used during this summit. Strategic, intentional, plan, think. Those words are very, very important. And I've added some here right now. Make sure you have an informed action. Unite your intuition. Strategic direction. Please start ahead. Start a year ahead to write a letter to your intern, a letter of intent to your prospective professor of the department of your interest. By this, you will establish a relationship with the department of your interest or school graduate admissions before your official application. This is an added advantage for your selection process. Then always understand that high score in GRE and GMAT will give you an edge along your CGPA. I have this mentee of mine. She studied computer engineering. So she's been sending out letters to professors. And lately, a professor reached out to her and she's going for AI. And the professor loved a letter of intent that she sent him. We worked on it together. And she had a 2-minute interview with that man. And the man said, go and apply. And then I will just take you during the selection because I am already set with you. That's the power of writing to your professors, okay? Finally, common advice to all, start early. Ensure you understand all the requirements on the checklist. Seek for a mentor or coach to guide you. Be sure you understand that this task of seeking graduate school admission or scholarship is a serious business which takes time and demands resources. Network all you can, because what you will use money to accomplish, relationship will offer you for free. I've heard this word network pretty much. Emmanuel Jesua, Dr. Ahmed, everyone. Dr. Babajide Milton, they all spoke about networking. Finally, do not give up because of rejection letters. Do not. And the last one is ensure you pray. All right, get your questions ready while I continue my presentation. If you need more on that, then we can discuss more after this particular presentation. All right, I'd like you all to know that when a man puts a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do, according to Charles Schwab. Yes, life may be full. Sorry, guys, I have to move this up a little bit so that I can see what I'm doing. All right, thank you. Life may be full of barriers and obstacles. No doubt that shouldn't pose as a barrier on anyone or make you adopt stereotype tendencies. Again, life may be full of barriers and obstacles. No doubt that shouldn't pose as a barrier on anyone or make you adopt stereotype tendencies. Regardless of any location you find yourself, barriers and obstacles are constant. But how you deal with the challenges is a function of what your mind can handle by virtue of those choices you make. Like we all know, our choices are a function of the awareness we have. Little wonder why I love barriers. Because in them lie limitless opportunities. Those opportunities cannot be unlocked with stereotype tendencies or dispositions. But behavioral flexibility is all you need. I know someone is going to ask, what is behavioral flexibility? Behavioral flexibility refers to the adaptive change in the behavior of an individual in response to changes in the external or internal environment. There is no denying fact that the person with the most flexibility of behavior has the greatest influence and impact on others and the global stage at large. Therefore, with flexibility in your behavior, there is no failure, but positive feedback. Now, you guys know too well that when you lived with your parents at the time, you had a different behavior with your folks, your parents, your family members. Now, when you moved to college, most of us lived in the hostel. You had roommates, classmates, you had other people you had to see. You were in a different environment. What did you do? You had to conform to the standard and then aim for success. That's called behavioral flexibility. Your behavior had to adapt to that environment. Your behavior had to adapt to the new people, new faces you were seeing. Some of us left our country to another country. We started mixing with different cultural changes. We mixed with different academic environments. Some of us even married foreigners. What do you have to do? You had to adjust to suit. Dr. Hamed was talking yesterday. He said something. He said, wherever you find yourself, be strategic, be wise in your decision. That's all behavioral flexibility. When you're not supposed to talk, be quiet. When you're not supposed to be partying, hold yourself. Behavioral flexibility. By that, with such flexibility in your behavior, there is no failure, but positive feedback at all times. With this in mind, let's consider our focus of today: overcoming academic barriers, stereotypes, paving the route towards global impact. There are two action statements that demands intense grit to accomplish. Pause for a minute, guys. Think and reason it with me. One, overcoming academic barriers. You have to overcome first. That's first. Second, paving the road towards global impact. So you have to overcome first before you pave. That's two action words. Okay. Personal development, they say, is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself, according to Destiny Whitley. And that's the only way you can overcome academic barriers. You see, that your guardian or your parents sponsored you through college doesn't mean you have broken all those barriers yet. No. There are more barriers, including stereotyping, to deal with in order to make the anticipated global impact. I often ask myself this question: what keeps people from being successful? I believe everyone has the seed of success in them. All they need to do is cultivate those seeds, water them, feed them, and they will begin to grow. Again, I believe everyone has a seed of success in them. All they need to do is cultivate those seeds, water them, feed them, and they will begin to grow. That is why I have spent my life trying to add value to people. I love to see people succeed. I love to see people blossom. So why do people fail to grow and reach their potentials? I have concluded that one of the main reasons is low self-esteem. Many people don't believe in themselves. They don't see the possibilities that God put in them. They possess 100 acres of possibilities, yet never cultivated them because they are convinced that they won't be able to learn, grow, and blossom into something wonderful. All right, guys. Like you all know, and to those who do not know, I am a proud graduate of Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti. Yes, you've heard me. I am a proud graduate of Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti. That's my first degree. Now I'm challenging all of you with first class, 2-1, 2-2, who attended university. You guys know how they look down on Polytechnic. If I can get to this stage, you can and you must. You won't forgive yourself knowing that somebody attended Polytechnic and he's doing what he's doing, and you have first class. I'm reminding you, you have first class. I remind constantly, this is a reminder to my mentees and to my clients with first class. I remind them, you don't know what you have. You do not know what you have. I'm going to remind you again. Some of us hunted for this first class, we couldn't get it. That's my first degree, HND. Friends, the 5 years in Ado-Ekiti were filled with barriers of all sorts. Now, this is my little story, very little. I don't like to go deep into it because we don't have all the time. But one thing I never allowed to becloud my judgment was stereotyping. What do I mean? Many believed that Polytechnic graduates cannot amount to anything or leave a global impact except they return to take postgraduate diploma. Some even go back to take bachelors. I feel for them. Dr. Ahmed spoke yesterday. I'm sorry, I listened to almost all the presentation. That's how I learn. I listen. I attend a lot of summits, a lot of workshops. I listen to all of them. So yesterday he was talking. And one of the things he said, take your courses seriously. Aim at good grades. Some of you will start consoling yourself. After all, people with third class, if you have third class, you have to work extra hard to break even. But with a good grade, first class, I agree with Dr. Ahmedo, you all set. The rest could just be, learning emotional intelligence, social intelligence, financial intelligence. Imagine Dr. Babajide in his presentation. He said, after I went for my master's, that's when I began to catch up with financial intelligence. That's someone with first class. So how about you? The first class paved way for him. He now started learning other things. You don't have no excuse, people. And even if they do, they struggle. No, never. Nobody made that rule. Nobody made that rule that because you had HND, you must go back and do postgraduate. No, nobody made that rule. I motivated myself to greatness, hence paving my route to global impact. Some of you may not also know, I secured a full scholarship to fly school in the United States to train as a pilot. That sounds fun, right? While my friends like Dr. Kelechukwu, Baba, and Dr. Babajide Milton, Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Emmanuel, our first speaker, I don't want to murder their names, just the first speaker, and the rest. When they were gunning for master's scholarship and PhD, I was gunning for piloting scholarship. Yes, I wanted to be a pilot. And I needed almost like 8 to 9 million to do that. Guess what? I got it. Fully funded, 75,000 US dollars. That's how I became a pilot. For some of you don't know, I'm an American trained pilot. So it's possible. No doubt, I am the only speaker with a different scholarship opportunity on this platform. Scholarship is scholarship, in as much as it's adding value. You are attending some degree or certifications that will take you to the next level, fully funded. While in the US, I saw other opportunities to return back to college to secure my master's in healthcare informatics without a single prerequisite or PGD. Today, I am honored to share stages with scholars and other global professionals without any barrier or stereotype tendencies. I'd like you guys to know, I run a virtual academy, a virtual coaching academy called Zit Worldwide. If I tell you the people on that platform, sometimes I feel so humble. That's why so when I say don't call me title, don't give me no title, just call me by my name. Because I feel somewhat, as in scholars from different top universities in my country and around the world, they find me worthy to come talk to me with HND background. Okay, now, you can do it. That should be your message. You can do it. You can do it. Those of you with 2-1, first class, 2-2. Do you want me to break into your brain and remind you and sit somewhere in your frontal lobe and remind you that you have all it takes to do it? It's called intense grit. Intense grit. Now, how do you pave your road to global impact? 1, determine to never be a spectator in the game of life. Yes, determine never to be a spectator in the game of life. In the game of soccer, only 25 people are players, but millions are spectators. 25 players, including the officiating officials, get rewarded, but the millions of spectators rather have to pay to watch. Please, don't be a spectator. I'd like you all to know that every barrier you cross, that's one step closer to the global impact you anticipate. I repeat, every barrier you cross, that's one step closer to the global impact you anticipate. A career or academic success is not luck. Dr. Babajide have said that. It's not luck. Neither is it a favor. Favor is God's sufficient resources for all. Favor is constant, it's there. Determination to be disciplined in all things is what attracts success and potential global impact. Listen, if you're not doing the needful, the global impact is not going to come. Do the needful. Get to work. Connect. Build positive character. Improve on your behavioral flexibility. That's how you would not be a spectator in the game of life. 2, if you want to pave your road to global impact, you have to change the way you think of yourself. If you want to change the way you think of yourself, you need to change the way you talk to yourself. Some of us don't talk to ourselves. I'm sorry. Some of us don't know how to caution ourselves when you are somewhere across the road. Again, I reference this speaker because I listen to them. Dr. Ahmed, he kept emphasizing the choices you make. Think through. Think about it. When you keep buying to stereotypes, he got to Canada and someone told him the highest funding that is in the land. You are doing engineering. They don't give it to people like you. The guy did not pay attention to him. The guy went to somewhere else and someone told him, dude, you have all it takes to get this funding. The guy went for it. He went for it. He thought to himself, I can do it. That's the way I do to myself every day. Yes. If you want to pave your road to global impact, you have to change the way you think of yourself. If you want to change the way you think of yourself, you need to change the way you talk to yourself. To attain that great feat of a great global impact, you need to learn to become your own encourager, your own cheerleader to attain a global impact status. Dr. Babajide, in his presentation, he said something. He said the greatest motivation you will have is yourself. You have to motivate yourself. Why would you wait to be motivated? Most of the things we do personally to have fun, do you wait to be motivated? The things that you do to have fun, do they motivate you to do them? That's the question you should ask yourself. I always said, after I get into the corporate world, I want to be a CEO. I want to set up a company. Thank God for COVID. COVID made it possible. I always said it. And I pray to God every day. And I was thinking, I said to myself, I needed to have a business that I don't have to stress. I don't need a physical office. I want to work less and make more money. That's exactly what is happening. I talk to myself every day before that thing came to be. Remember, is that number 3 or number 4? Yes, number 4. Remember, I said low self-esteem is one of the problems that creates barriers and stereotypes which impede one's anticipated global impact. The best way to build self-esteem is to do what's right, which gives a strong sense of satisfaction. The best way to build self-esteem is to do what's right, which gives a sense of global satisfaction. You guys remember the intro of Dr. Babajide that I gave to you guys? I'm going to reference him again somewhere in my presentation. After they found how to secure locally, local scholarship in Nigeria, okay, they felt so satisfied. I was wondering in my head, how come I didn't meet Dr. Babajide that time? All that money was in his hands. He would have shared some with me that I was suffering. Anyway, that's just by the side. But they found out and they felt fulfilled. If I study hard, I will constantly have scholarship. Okay, now that I've gotten this, okay, the next one is possible. The same way, even myself, when I found out what it takes to succeed in Nigeria, when I got to the US and it looks like everything was now, I just make sure that my behavioral flexibility got into place. I put on my thinking faculty, very sensitive, and I re-strategize. Trust me, they are where they are supposed to be. Being true to yourself and your value is a tremendous self-esteem builder. Stay true to yourself. Don't be hypocrite. Don't deceive yourself. Every time you take action that builds your character, you become stronger as a person. The harder the task, the greater the character builder. You can actually act yourself into feeling good about yourself because positive character extends into every area of your life, giving you confidence and positive feelings about everything you do. Now, positive character alone can bring you to the center stage of global impact. Yes, just positive character. Do you all know that some people are not college graduates, yet they are creating global impact? Okay. As a certified John Maxwell coach, I have one of my coaches on John Maxwell team. He's a top coach. His name is Paul Martinelli. He is a high school dropout. He has no degrees. Aside being multi-millionaire, he speaks to thousands of PhD holders, entrepreneurs, scholars, name them, including myself. When you listen to him, you will forget that you didn't go to college. So it's possible for you to work on yourself with good character and still leave an impact in a global stage. I like to state that the road to global impact is far more crucial than overcoming academic barriers or stereotypes. Yes, this is why I say so. While with your parents, they're setting you up to go to college. You're answerable to them because they give you school fees, tuition, or your guardian, And then when you get to college, you're answerable to your lecturers, to the school authorities. I mean, you're under some control environment and all that, okay? So you feel obliged, you feel obligated to satisfy these people you're answerable to. But guess what? When it's time for you to, start paving the route to the global stage, you are on your own. A lot of times, when you're done with college in Africa, especially in my country, Nigeria, your guardian, your parents will tell you, we're done with you, go get a job, make us proud. At that time, you're facing the wall by yourself. You want to bring, good testimonies home by the impact you make outside. So living within that parameter of self-discipline can be a little bit, very challenging. So that's why it's crucial for you to put your consciousness in check. We must stop making excuses with stereotype tendencies, but rather focus on what your mind can conceive and attain. How do I know? I scripted down what and how I wanted to create an impact in my world on my personal mission statement way back in 2005 when I barely couldn't afford a meal. I was intentional. Today, they are all playing out as I scripted out. My question to you is, do you have a personal mission statement which will serve as a road map to the global stage? Discipline and setting your priorities are key. I don't know if some of you read. I read a lot of books. I know I first read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People when I was 21. That was the first time I came across the personal mission statement. It simply means you are scripting out what you want your future to look like. You kind of refine them till you get to a certain point you do not anymore. I have mine. To some of you that have been in my lectures or summits or presentations like these, where I shared it, the last time I touched it was 2010, and I'm leaving. No, is it 2010? Yes, I've not touched it till date. I've been working. Virtually almost 90% of what I scripted out is what is happening today. You got to be intentional. In conclusion, permit me to borrow from the words of my good friend, Dr. Babajide Milton, on his social media post. Luck has very little to do with it. I'm sure Dr. Babajide don't know how much I respect him. He doesn't know how much I admire his grit and tenacity. The passion he has, even to add value to people, just like Dr. Kelechukwu. In fact, sometimes when I call them, I feel so honored. Me, HND, I'm I feel so honored. Now, after he wrote that, some of you, I don't know, you guys should visit their pages in their social media platform. You will learn a lot. After he scripted out all that he had to do while he was in, college. When I say college, I mean university. How he got, the scholarships. He explained how he saved most of the money he was collecting, preparing for his NYSC and how to hunt for the international scholarship. He bought a modem, he bought a laptop, he got himself prepared. I loved the story. This is how he concluded. These beautiful experiences with nationwide undergraduate scholarship in Nigeria made us carry out collective investigations into international postgraduate versions. From the above, it is clear what my priority was. And I invested not only my money, but my time, mental, and emotional energy into it. In the end, I applied to over 20 universities across Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, in bracket, or Oceania, and North America for master's scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man with first class. This is a man with first class. You know how many rejections he got? Some of us cannot stand rejection. I've shared a lot of times after I finished my grad school in the US, I applied to over 120 to 130 jobs. I had several rejections, probably over 60. I did several interviews, over 80. And when it was time for me to get the job, I had like 3 offers, good, juicy ones. Rejections makes you stronger. This is a man that first class. His first class, not the weak one, no, very strong one. Before he would drop to 2-1, and something must have really, probably he would have to be sick, seriously sick. But you see what he went through? So how much more, those of us with HND, what excuse do we have? You with 2-1, you with 2-2. You might be blessed, like Dr. Hamed. He said he didn't have to go through any of this that we went through. Through divine connection. But guess what? His social intelligence is very, very strong. From what I gathered from his presentation, very strong. What do you have that you can use as a strength to take you to where you need to make your global impact? Until we all win, we are all work in progress. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Questions?
Wow. Thank you very much, Fred, for this, your amazing, inspiring, and comprehensive presentation. So if you are here with us and you have any question for Fred, please drop it in our comment section while we take the ones that we already have. So Fred, we have 1 or 2 questions for you while we're waiting for others to drop theirs. So the first one is, what is your advice to those who don't believe in themselves? Like, what do you think are the healthy ways to get out of that space?
Okay. That question does not have any elaborate answer.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing first, let that person ask himself or herself, do you like good stuff? That's the first question. You like good stuff like money, good clothes, good accommodation? And if you're a guy, are you ready to settle down? Do you want to be an infidel? If your answer is no, it doesn't come cheap. You got to do something. So that's where the motivation has to come up. That's why I said the speakers, they've said more about this. Self-motivation is the number one thing. Self-motivation. You just have to be able to motivate yourself. Now, if you cannot, whether you cannot or you can, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. That's simple common sense. Show me your friend and I will tell you exactly who you are. If you keep friends with recalcitrants, of course, you end up being one. Why do you think I love the story of Dr. Babajide? He said when he got to college, he discovered the guys with a very high, cerebral, tendencies up there. He connected with them. These principles, they are all the same everywhere. I'd like you guys to know, me as a person, since when I was young, I kept friends that are older than me. People that are far older than me. Yes. Now, I learned from them very fast. These people, I listen to them a lot. I ask a lot of questions, and I was having challenge keeping friends that are of my same level. Even when it comes to opposite relationship, I was struggling. So there are 1,000 things that will motivate you. But I do not want to undermine the fact that some of us did not have a good home upbringing. Sometimes our parents died early in life, so we're exposed to different things and all that. Excuse me, it's still not an excuse for you to fail. Because in future, when you get older, my father died, my mother died, is not going to put food on your table. I fell into that class where my parents couldn't send me to college. When I first got admission to University of Youth for Pharmacy, I couldn't afford the bills. Did it mean I should fail? I was in the village. No. And I wasn't yet 16. I was still 15. I took the bull by the horn to step out to seek for greener pasture. So the answer to that question, first, self-discovery, self-motivation. Then, show me your friend. Tell you who you are. Network. Choose your friends. Don't keep ones that you gossip. Gossip. Don't keep the one that will displace hard work with. God will do it. It is well. Don't get me wrong. I love God so much. I'm a big fan of the Almighty God. But until that individual understands that God in him is his brain, you see this? This place right here houses the greatest asset in the world, the mind. Out of it, everything comes out. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. So that reminds me of your quotes during your presentation. Our choices are a function of the awareness we have.
You got it.
Yeah, so we have another question here. Sir, would you, sorry about that. Would you advise one to go for HND or BSc in engineering?
Okay. I would like to say that those of us that went to Polytechnic, it's not like we desire to. I'll tell you, a lot of people went to Polytechnic not because they planned it. It came as an option or as a substitute because they weren't able to gain into the university for one reason or the other. Okay. So again, why will I know that going to the Polytechnic will put me in a less, advantaged status than going to the university? Why would I just take myself and go to the Polytechnic? Definitely, I would not advise you to do that. But if destiny or if circumstances beyond your control presents itself that you have to be in the Polytechnic, my brother, my sister, do not waste time. There's a Nigerian guy in the US. He works with Microsoft. He attended Polytechnic in Nigeria. If you look through his resume on LinkedIn, he didn't do any course outside. From HND, he came to the US, did his master's, did his PhD. He works with Microsoft. He's their top-notch data scientist. As I'm talking to you today, if I want to go into any PhD program, it's at my beck and call. I have HND. It is not which school you went to. It is what you make out of it. So that question is still very open, it's broad. Nobody will get up as his first choice in Nigeria to fill out to go to the Polytechnic. We all aim to be at the university. But circumstances will fall. Sometimes you will take university jam and then you take Polytechnic jam. So university will mess you up. And now Polytechnic is doing well. Let me go. Some will start their first year, second year, OND. They cross to the university. Like me, after I got to the Polytechnic, the school fees was so cheap. 700 naira first semester. Hey, thank God I'm in school. I was feeling so good. I was so excited. Second semester was 295. I say, hey, I got this. I didn't even bother my head again because I know I went to University of Ilorin for medicine and surgery. The school fees for the first semester pushed me back. Why would I want to stress myself? God knew I only did the best I could, and I gave it my very best. because of my, I didn't have enough resources in my first semester. I think I ended up with a lower credit during my OND. I had 2.997 or 9 something. It didn't pain me. I cried. But in my HND, I said, if I don't have distinction, I must have upper credit. But I got there. I was like, I needed some things to do to keep me busy in school. And also, as I passed through the school will pass through me. So I got into politics. I learned a lot. But I graduated with upper credit regardless. I was a leader in my class all through. I was into student union leadership and all that. So I built a lot of my soft skills while in college as well. So again, if you want to go to the Polytechnic to do mechanical, I won't stop you to go there. One, that might be where your money can afford. Two, that's probably where you got admission. You couldn't get one in the university. I won't stop you to go. But if you have all it takes to go to university, please, that's where you should be. Get it first. When you finish, then you can discuss other things. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. So the next question is, many schools require that you have an equivalent of a 4-year US bachelor's degree. What should one with an HND do to meet this requirement?
Okay. I had HND. It was 5 years if you ask me, but it's 4 years in school because 1 year internship is not, it's 4 years. As soon as you send that transcript to West, they will evaluate it. They will evaluate everything. They will give you your equivalency GPA. What you will see there will be BSc, 4 years. The credit complete. I used it to apply to schools. Nobody asked me question. When I'm applying, BSc applied chemistry. Boom. That's it. It's 4 years. Who said it's not 4 years? Where did you get that stereotype from? Where did that person, that's the stereotype we are talking about. Where did you get it from? You went to a polytechnic? Yes. If you need mentorship, meet me behind closed doors. Then I'll take you through it. You have HND, it's as good as BSc. I did apply chemistry in the university, in the polytechnic back in Nigeria. But in the US, it's BSc. It's BSc. If you go to my file at Sacred Heart University, BSc applied chemistry. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's 4 years. 4 years is 4 years. If you spend 2 years your OND, 2 years HND, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
That's 4 years.
Thank you, Fred. So if you're here and you still have a PhD in stereotypes or stereotyping, I think it's time to repent. So the next question is, to get scholarship for PhD in the US, does one have to be admitted into the program first?
Okay, so like I said, thank you very much for that question. See, the first admission that I was gunning for was medicinal chemistry, UConn. So I wrote to the lecturer. I was here. I needed to be in status because my status as a piloting student, a flight student, was different from the one I was going to go for. So I wrote to the professor and he told me to come in. So I went in, I drove down to school. I saw the professor. So we talked and he told me this program is PhD. It's not master's. In fact, if you go to their website as of today, most of my mentees or most of my clients that I have to show them, most of the schools that I know they have a lot of fundings. So that particular school, they have a lot of fundings. So if you go to their site, they have some courses strictly PhD. So if you are going in for master's, you have to do it through PhD. So I was told I have to do it through PhD. And me, I know myself that I don't need PhD. I just need master's. I'm all set. I'm a big fan of certifications. I already knew I wanted certification because I found out that certifications in the US, people that have So when I got to this guy, he said I have to do PhD all through. And for God's sake, I felt very uncomfortable. But that's the school standard. So I began to look for a course that was going to take me just for masters. And that was how I stumbled on healthcare informatics at Sacred Heart University. Now, I currently have mentees or clients that are in the US. They came in for their masters and they are top in their classes. And I told them, in fact, there is one particular one, I've brought him to speak with us in one of my webinars that I held. And nice guy, very smart dude. Worry boy, no, they carry last. We talk constantly. I told him, start seeking for your PhD. I need you to get into it. As a matter of fact, this present government would love students with PhD mindset, research mindset, and all that. Just so you guys will know, 2 of my mentees just got visa last month. They are coming to the US this December. So for those of you that are thinking US don't give them visa, listen, they need brains. They need people that are coming up with something up here. Okay, something up here. Okay, so I told him, I started guiding him. I said, listen, PhD, let's get to work. As I'm talking to you today, Okis, that is his name. Most of you that have attended my webinar that I brought him to speak to us, he has like several. He's transitioning. So you either come fully, okay, I'll share another one. There is one currently, Promise. Promise had first class from Uniben. She had, she studied computer engineering. Currently, 2 professors from 2 different schools, PhD. What? PhD. I love those first class students. So I didn't have it, but I love them. They make me proud. They sell my market. So you have 2 parts to go to. You come in with masters, stay on top of your game, you slide into PhD, or you come in straight for PhD. You are starting your PhD from the day you start school for your masters. That's how it works. It all depends on the school you're dealing with, your power of negotiation, who is mentoring you, who is coaching you, how you play around with it. Thank you, Antonia.
Okay, you're welcome, Fred. Thank you too. So, dear viewers, for you to succeed, you have to chase down a lot of demons. And that includes academic barriers and stereotypes. I believe we've learned 1 or 2 things from our guest speaker for today, Fred. And Fred, we don't have any other question for now. So I think that's where we'll stop for coming here to speak to us. At least this session, for me, it was so inspiring and I really appreciate it. So Fred, in conclusion, what are the advice that you will give to our viewers for today?
Okay, so let me put you on the spot for a minute, Antonia. So if someone with HND has told you all these sweet stories, which is real, they're not just sweet stories, they are real, okay?
Okay.
And I'm sure you have BSc, right?
Yes.
So how do you feel if someone with HND is here sitting, talking to you, sharing stage with professors? You don't know our previous speakers, they are professors. So, how do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel good, right? Now, do you have a reason to fail?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't, right? Good. So, anytime you want to make an excuse for not doing what you're supposed to do, I will share this before I give that final word. You see, I run a virtual coaching platform. The reason I call it coaching is because if I just want to mentor you out, okay, thank you very much, Antonia. Now, anytime I just want to mentor an individual, I don't get the kind of results that I want because I've come to find out that your spiritual life is connected to your financial life, it's connected to your career life, it's connected to your whole well-being. So I like to seep into you and figure out what is going to make you proceed with aiming at success, and then try to raise your unconsciousness to conscious, or help you to unlearn, relearn, and learn something new to better aim at that, global impact that you are actually aiming at. So I have this discounted package of 4 weeks, 4 sessions. I don't call it 4 weeks, 4 sessions within a period of 3 months, sometimes as much as you can use it. So I have clients that come in after the first session. They will pay to come and talk to me. After the first session, they don't come back. And the first session would have been so loaded, it will open their eyes. The veils will fall off. It's like, man, this is not going to be fun. It's a lot of work. Yes, it's a lot of work. And I will load you with assignments on what to do. They won't come back. And they would have paid almost 15,000 to come and talk to me. Can you imagine? They don't come back. They won't follow up with what they need to do. Like Babajide will say, Dr. Babajide will say, I won't help you to write your SOP. No, I won't. My clients do know I don't help you to write. Write, bring it, let's fix it together. Guiding you, coaching you, putting you where you have to be to better improve on yourself for you to move forward. So anytime you're thinking of an excuse to not move forward, when you see the road to success and you see the stumbling block, and all you could do is you start finding excuse to start cutting corners at your own risk is waiting for you. When you cut corners around the real deal, whatever result you get at the other side, it's your choice. Always remember, the choices you make is a function of your awareness. So anytime you want to make those excuses, anytime you feel like, okay, nothing is working, please always remember Wilfred. This Akwa Ibom boy, village boy, this village Akwa Ibom boy. If he can be doing this, then I should not have an excuse. He had HND. I have BSc. All those my first class mentees and clients. I remind them every day, you have first class. Be sensitive about the fact that you have first class. Dr. Ahmed was referencing the young man that had first class. His first class now, excuse my English, 4.97 or so. Mathematics, UNN. If I had 4.95 mathematics, I probably should work in as I'm graduating from UNN, I should be looking for work somewhere like World Bank or something. I should be like MIT or Harvard. What was he lacking for a minute? Social intelligence. What was he lacking for a minute? The right networking. As God located him, he was already prepared. So Dr. Ahmed said it yesterday, be prepared at all times. That's what I do. I'm always prepared at all times. Please, once again, whenever you think of failing with your BSc in your hands, first class, 2-1, 2-2, please, always remember this village boy from Akwa Ibom. This boy had first class. He had HNDO. He doesn't sound like someone that is failing. And I'm sure you'll be fine. And above all, pray to God to crown your effort with success. But don't put him in a box because he doesn't like it. Don't. Work hard, strategize, network, pray. God to bless it. Thank you guys for having me here today. It was an honor to be here, and I will always be here anytime. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Fred. On behalf of the viewers for today's session, so I want to thank you for taking us on this informative session and for your time as well. You've really taught us a lot, and they used to say teacher's reward is in heaven. So So we pray that the good Lord will bless you and keep you safe for us in Jesus' name. So we also want to thank our organizers. Thank you all for giving us this opportunity to listen to, I call them world-class speakers. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate your effort in trying to make us great tomorrow. So we say a big thank you to all of you. So this brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, everybody. Feel free anytime, reach out, especially those of you that have been great instrument in organizing this. I can't take your hard work for granted. See, the reward is here already. I'm reaping it. No, the heavenly reward when we get there is different, but the ones here, we're already reaping it. I can guarantee you that, because if you're not reaping it for every step you put in as hard work, you definitely would think you're not doing anything, but it's getting you closer. So that's reward you're already taking. So thank you very much, guys. And I'm pretty sure that we will see again. Until we all win, we are all working.